And we are live. Hello, Marie, and welcome. I
Thank you,
love doing live
Steph.
with you.
I love doing life with you.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, it's so cool. Oh my goodness. And we're talking about, just had a look at the topic that we were talking about in the last couple of days. My goodness, it's exploded. Everyone's talking about teens, young people using skincare. There's a lot of controversy around it, and you are ahead of the game and always have been in this area. Um, those of you out there in some kind of universe that don't know who Marie is,
Hey,
it's
40
you.
years in the industry next year. So I think, yeah, I've been around a long time. But yeah, this is a topic that, you're right, Steph. It's just gone viral. It's exploded. I'm so glad right now that I am a mother of an adult daughter because I have a 15-year-old niece. I have a twin sister who's got a 15-year-old daughter, and I have an adult daughter. Her and I do a Mecca experience once a year. So I buy her Christmas voucher and we go to Mecca. And on the first attempt of having that day out together, I said to her, Annalise, we can have a look at anything. You can spend your voucher on anything except for skincare. I will not have, you using someone else's skincare. And she goes, oh, I wouldn't do that to you, Zia.
Well, you mean she wouldn't do that to herself,
Well,
really?
no, I think she would,
She
Steph. I
would.
think she would because she, like all these young teens, and we've got to add the tweens in here. These aren't even teenagers, so we're talking like 8 and 9-year-olds that all of a sudden feel like they have to use skincare, which is fine. That's not a problem of forming a daily routine and a habit of understanding and appreciating that skin is the largest organ of the body and it does need to be preserved. That's really what it's all about. But unfortunately, due to social media and YouTube, because a lot of kids aren't on social media, like a lot of the young ones aren't on social media, but they've got access to YouTube. And that's where they're seeing the bling. That's where they're seeing that, come to me, you need to be buying me. And so I was just going to say to you before, I'm so glad that my daughter is an adult and making her own decisions because there would be a lot of homes in absolute turmoil and mothers and daughters fighting all the time because young girls particularly, I'd say, so it's not just girls, it's boys as well, that are being enticed into the world of beauty, into the world of skincare, but with products that aren't for them. And everybody knows that specifically the Drunk Elephant and the Glow Recipe, they're brands that, they cost from they're into like the hundreds of dollars. And here we've got young children asking their parents or demanding, that's probably worse, that they have to have these products. And so we go, well, why? What's the attraction of the skincare? And you just gotta look at the packaging. There is an attraction in the colorful packaging. And of course, it's all the influencers. And every now and then I come across an influencer, sort of like a team. There's four girls. I can't remember what they're called, and they're about 12, 13 years old, and they talk about lifestyle skincare, all this sort of stuff. And I just sit there absolutely like, oh my God, like how do they know all this stuff? How are they exposed to all this stuff? And how do they think that a lot of that is okay for their age group? That's the concern, right?
I think that social media and the availability of so much information and then so much influence, it's going to have an effect on how a child is growing up and what they're thinking and
Yeah.
how they're relating to other people, and their self-esteem and their self-worth. When you're talking about that, there's a deeper meaning there and a deeper discussion to have. But also think about how beautiful it looks. People are putting this gorgeous stuff on their skin, glowing. It looks like and it feels good. It smells good. The whole experience feels very, decadent sometimes. The way they make it look, especially the influencers on social media, who wouldn't be wanting to do that even if you're 12 and 13, right?
And there's nothing wrong with that. There
Nothing
absolutely
wrong with it. It's
and you
beautiful.
want that, right? I know from my experience, I went to a careers market. People have heard me say this before. I thought I was going to be a doctor or a lawyer, and then I went to a careers market. And at the top of the stairs was the beauty therapy, the college that I ended up going to. And prior to that, I did not understand that there was this option of professional skincare, of professional care, of expert guidance. And so I was sort of like with an acneic skin. And, you know, for me, like I say all the time, it was love at first sight when I saw this industry, because it was a personal need and a personal interest. And I never imagined that it could explode the way that it did. But today, we all have access to so much information. Murray and I often fight because we're out and we're in a deep discussion, and the next thing he's got his phone, and I'm going, like, what the hell just happened there? Did he just lose concentration? No, he is trying to validate the conversation, or he's got this thing where he's got to really understand. And you can, right? You can get the right information on the spur of the moment. Maybe not the best social skills, but you know, that happens, and that's what young people are doing. But my message that I put out via our branding is that young skin is perfect. You know, it is abundant in collagen, it is hydrated, the cellular turnover is balanced. You know, the skin it hasn't been exposed to damage. It's just perfection. And I don't think that there's a lot of misinformation that's being given to young people, but there's just not enough people giving the right information. So when you tell a young person, no, you're too young, I don't want you to do that. No, you don't need to use that product. No, we can't afford that. No, no, no. We all know what no means. Now I want it more, right? That's just human nature, right? We're all the same. So I says, no, you can't do that. You go, yeah, no, yes, I can. So what we've got to embrace is the interest and the passion of wanting to take care of young skin. But where we as an industry, and I say this all the time, it's not up to Mecca, and it's like even Drunk Elephants, I think it was their CEO, came out with a statement and said, hey, we don't want you to buy our product, young people, because it's not for you. It's too active for you. So then instead of saying, we don't want you to buy our product, no, I'm not going to buy you skincare, we need to say, okay, there needs to be a daily routine, but what does that daily routine look like? And I think it's really important that if they can learn very early in life just to keep the skin clean, like, you know, I still say that today. People say to me, tell me, if like you only one product, you can only use one product. What's that product? I always say it's a cleanser, because if you have a great cleanser, especially when it comes to imbalanced teen skin, it can be the total solution for correcting the skin. Really good cleanser, rebalances the oils, it cleans out the follicles, it doesn't strip the skin, perfect pH balance, then that can be the answer to a teenager's skin problems. And of course, we just need to protect the skin. So especially living in Australia, the teens are exposed to the value of sun protection, and it's a cleanser and a sun protection, and that is enough. And that should be enough, right? When the skin is perfect.
Absolutely. Goodness me, when the skin is perfect, and you keep saying that over and over again, and it's sinking in. You're right. What are we suggesting that a child or a teenager do to their skin other than cleanse, and maybe if they have some acne or, you know, some challenges and concerns, they look at actually addressing them, because sometimes teenagers do have inflamed skin. Sometimes, you know, the daily stresses and pollution can affect the skin. In that type of, I suppose, aspect, when you're looking at it from that angle, what are the challenges that they can face, and how can they develop that healthy skin routine for those challenges?
And you know, Steph, that's a really important point to make, because I'm talking about skin that is perfect, that just needs to be kept perfect, right? And the irony of this young skin that's trying to use his active skincare,
Exactly.
I'm not sure what for, and then you've got every skin thereafter, you know, from your 18-year-olds thereafter, it's all for the quest of perfect skin.
Right.
So, right?
Irony.
So here they are, so young, looking for perfect skin, they've got it, and the rest of us, you know, as you age, you're trying to go back to perfect skin. So when it's perfect, there has to be an understanding. It's just preservation. It's just making sure that your skin doesn't deteriorate, and that you just keep it healthy. But there are a lot of teenage skin conditions, and that you just keep it healthy.
Ooh.
Oh, we got like an echo. So it's really important that when that does happen, that they're given the right guidance. And this is where the professional beauty industry needs to be more vocal, because where's mum going to go when their child is fretting over their skin? They're definitely going to go to a doctor. And then sometimes from a doctor, they'll go to a dermatologist, but there's not a lot of parents that are aware of the difference that a professional skin clinic can make, and that you don't need to go on, really aggressive and dangerous drugs in order to correct even the worst of acneic skins. But if you don't know that we offer this, then they're going to go elsewhere. And so it's really important that we as an industry go out there and make mums and dads aware that we are the support that they need, and we will give them products that are less aggressive than a prescription. So like, for instance, with your tretinoids, with your retinoids and your Roactin, how many times do I hear parents that have got their kids on Roaccutane? And that, for me, when I was a hands-on beauty therapist, it was the last resort to the last resort. You didn't go there unless there was nothing else. And even then, it was really with great hesitation, because there's so many things that, there's so much degradation that happens with the skin. Sure, the acne's gone, but there's so many consequences of using this drug. And in fairness, in the days when I was hands-on, we didn't have these refined and sophisticated formulations that could rebalance acneic skins, and that that they've got the anti-inflammatory values and properties that you require today. We didn't have all those different phases that you could apply before getting to the retinoids. Would you agree, Steph?
Oh, look, I'm hearing everything you're saying. Skincare and skincare science has come such a long way. And brands like, O and your INSKIN family of brands as well. You spend so much time, money, and effort on development, and not just for skin in general, for specific types of skin. So gone are the days where you really need to go and seek, prescription help for, even inflammatory conditions and, somewhat and inflammatory conditions like acne, because obviously acne has an extreme base in inflammation.
Yeah.
These are some of the also misconceptions that are out there. People are not understanding that, or they're holding those traditional long-standing beliefs.
Yeah.
And seeking reliable information is really, really hard.
And then self-diagnosis is always difficult. And I go back again, the professional beauty industry, the skin experts, the dermal therapists, the cosmetic nurses, they don't treat acne, but then they got somewhere to send the patient to, or they're treating mum, and they talk about everything. And that there's a child that's really got terrible skin conditions. I hear that all the time, when I'm out. It's like, oh, I've got a niece, I've got a nephew, I've got a child, what do you recommend? And I think that we've got a great opportunity in the professional skin industry, because we can actually design a customized treatment plan. It's not just about putting product into someone's hands. It's the guidance of how to use that product, when to use that product, and understanding that when you're treating an acneic skin, it's not just about the product. Yes, it makes a big difference. The topical application makes a big difference, but there's a whole lot of other internal factors that that they just need to be aware of. And kids are kids, and especially when they're really sporty and they sweat, and the hygiene probably isn't as great as it could be, and so pillowcases don't look great, and sheets maybe could be changed a little bit more often. And then with girls especially, the choices that they use in their makeup applications, and the chemicals that they use on the skin. So there's such a huge learning that comes with skin concerns. And this is the most vulnerable age, and the age where if somebody just was to be able to sit you down and say, okay, here are all the contributing factors to the problems that you're seeing with your skin. So we've gone from this perfect skin, like, just love the skin you're in, preserve the skin you're in, and just really enjoy this, because one day you might not have it, but you've got this opportunity now. We know that, you know, if you look after your skin now, you can hold on to that. And then the other side where you're not so lucky and you've got this, you know, imbalanced skin and problematic skins, and having the right information, the right guidance, but then having access to product ranges that, you know, are safe and they're not aggressive and they're not going to fix one problem and cause another one. But where I do see we do go wrong as an industry, not everybody, obviously, but the conversations that I have, and I see it often in skin solutions. I love seeing what a skin solution looks like. And sometimes the gap in the skin solution is the choice of retinoid. It's that vitamin A.
Right.
And because it's a young skin, they're 10 or they're 12 or they're 13, like, you know, we shouldn't be giving them retinol, shouldn't we? Because if you go to a dermatologist, they're not going to think twice about writing a script.
Yeah, absolutely. There is an irony there. Absolutely.
There is an irony there, yeah. And I think that if we just found more confidence in all the different types of retinoids that there are, starting with, for instance, your botanical actives, where you've got things like your Bucachul, which is a
absolutely.
botanical option, but the clinical studies are they're
They're up there. They're up there for sure.
Yeah, they're quite compelling, you know. And so you can get the similar results, if not even better results, in a young skin that's so responsive with like your botanical active, and you don't need to worry about retinols or your you know, your retinaldehydes, etc. And certainly you don't need to worry about the scripts. But the industry needs to step up. It'd be great if ABIC could do something where we had this campaign that we had a week where we were all given some scripts, because I know that not everybody finds it, I should never say that. There are a number of people that are challenged with getting on a camera and sharing, you know,
it's hard.
Yeah, so if we as ABIC could put together some different scripts and individuals found the script that they were most comfortable with and they learnt it, and all we did was bombard the internet and bombard the socials, and we went, Australian therapists went like crazy on tween and teen skincare. We could put our industry in another place as well, because we could be seen as the experts when it came to skin conditions, not just for teens and tweens, but also for you know, adult skin conditions. It just shocks me. It doesn't shock me, I guess. I was the same, like, until I went up those stairs and understood what beauty therapy was. I was not aware that there are clinics that specialize in skincare journeys.
Oh my goodness. I love what you just said. You just blew my mind. Imagine we all did that together.
We all did that, like, you know, and all of a sudden people are just, they're hearing it over and over and over again. I know I did a video when it all went a bit crazy, and the video did go viral. Lots of my partners shared it, which was lovely. But the private messages that I had, oh my gosh, Maria, I just want to say thank you. This is an argument that we have in our house every day. There was even a dad that wrote, I'm so tired of hearing my wife and my daughter fighting all the time. But where do they get the right information? Misinformation is everywhere. Where do they get the right information? So it really is up to us to ensure that, you know, that we give the information, and we do that as experts. And then a mum can say, listen, I want you to come and listen to this lady speaking. This is a clinic that's just around the corner from here. I'm going to take you there, but listen to what she's saying. You don't need to use niacinamide. You don't need to use vitamin C. You don't need to use retinol, but you do need to preserve this beautiful skin that you've got. It's just the right messaging, right?
And that was going to be a question of mine. Where do we seek this information? Because parents are in this precarious position where they're always competing with so much information out there on social media. Where can they even start to think, look, how do I talk to my son or daughter about this? How can I speak to my child about this? How can I put them on the right path? But I think that we should, as therapists and as an industry, be telling the parents and guiding them, come to us if you're, you know, not just for your skin, but for your children's skin. I love that idea. That's beautiful.
Because kids are really, they're great at negotiating. My God, they're great at negotiating, and they're convincing, right? So if a parent doesn't know the answer and a child says, Mum, you know, I'm 12 years old. I should be using vitamin A. All my friends are using vitamin A. And I understand parents too. Like, all my friends are using vitamin A. I had this conversation with my hairdresser. She goes, Maria, you would die. The conversations that happen in this chair. She said, you know, I've got 13-year-old parties, mums that are coming in and they're preparing for a 13-year-old party, and they've got the Louis Vuitton or the Gucci or the Hermes bag. That's
Right.
the gift that they're getting. I was like, at 13 years old, like, so
Wow.
if they get that at 13, what will you give them at 15, 16? How will you ever make them happy at 21, you know? So it really is about not saying no. It really, like, okay, yes, you're interested and that's really great, but the information has got to come from the experts, and we have to step up and we have to say, you know, and we can be doing, you know, regular videos. The socials are, they're watching the socials, they're doing the YouTubes. Like, we can do two ways. We've got to work out where the young people are listening and who they're listening to, and where we can get directly to them. And then we have to do the same with mum and dad, the person that's making the purchase, that's making the investment. And this way that, you know, we're able to support this information, and they understand where they need to go. I just don't imagine where else they would, you know, it's like, it's no different to if you're a woman that is perimenopausal, starting to get concerned about their hormones, seeing changes, where do you go? And when my friends say to me, I've got an appointment with the doctor, I say, oh, why are you going to a doctor? You do understand that a doctor has no understanding of hormones. They certainly are not going to able to take you through a menopausal journey. You need to find an endocrinologist, or you need to find an integrated doctor. You don't want a solution that is over the counter. So, you know, your friend's using a cream, you're going to use a cream. No, because your friend's hormone imbalance could be different to your hormone imbalance. And so you're looking for a customized plan. And that's what we need to be offering the kids as well, is a customized plan. I'm hearing you. What is it concerning you about your skin? Well, nothing, but just all my friends are using Drunk Elephant. It's like, well, I'm sorry that your friends need to do that, because I'm looking at perfection here and you don't need to be doing that. Did you notice that even the CEO of Drunk Elephant said, don't use our products, you don't need them? But I do appreciate that you want to preserve your skin, and that is just wonderful. So here's what we're going to do. Here's your cleanser for the morning or the evening or both, and here's your SPF. And unless something changes in your skin, you don't need to do anything else.
What about when they want the ritual? You know, can you do something when they want that beautiful ritual and that face massage and the, you know, the glowy
Yeah,
oil,
I think that
oily skin?
all clinics should be allowing for some great teen signature treatment, something really special, but just being really aware, like any skin, like, you know, the skin is the canvas, right? So here's the client on the bed. Let's take away the, you know, the specifics about this client. It is a face on a bed. And then when you do your skin analysis, what does that skin look like? What does that skin need? It's like, you know, this whole, one of the big things about corneotherapy. You know, everybody talks about corneotherapy. Now, I got to say that there isn't a sophisticated brand on the market that doesn't adhere to the principles of corneotherapy. But it also comes back to the therapist. I have this beautiful skin on the bed. Doesn't matter the age of the skin. Am I going to exfoliate? No. Does that skin need to be exfoliated? No. So you don't exfoliate, right? It's just, it doesn't, there's stuff that I always hear so much talk, and even therapists, we are gullible, right? Some brand comes out and says, this is the magic and this is this magic. And we go, oh God, I've got to hold on to that magic. But no, you have to hold on to your skin science. And if it's not here, go back to the books and say, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? And as a therapist, what am I going to believe in? I always say, when people tell me something, I go, you see me, Steph, I just listen to things and go, can I just say
You
that?
definitely have your strong opinions, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I go, can I just say I'm not sure about that? Like, when you go back to skin science, that doesn't make sense to me. So it really is about forming the right opinions and based on skin science. So whatever the skin is on the bed, does it need to be exfoliated? And if it's perfection, it doesn't need to be exfoliated. You know, so ask the right questions, look at the skin and really understand. But I think we probably could do a little bit of a scare campaign as well. And when I say scare, yeah, I don't mean that in a
It's
bad
so
way.
controversial. I love it.
Yeah, I kind of think like, when you really want something, you're told that you can't have it, you want it more, right? We're like that, and kids today are
So true,
even
isn't it?
more like that, right? So if you were like, it's this whole Ozempic, there's a lot of controversy around that, right? But I think that when a doctor says to you, okay, so I know that they're not giving it for weight loss anymore, but there's other options. But I also understand that I was talking to a cousin of mine who's a doctor, and he was saying, Marie, they're not giving Ozempic anymore, but there's all these other ones. And I said, but and I saw a story that was really supportive of using this sort of technology for weight loss. He says, but people just got to be aware, like you cannot forget that there is a chance of increase in thyroid cancer and pancreatic cancer. So now this gung-ho person that was like waiting for a script is like, okay, so do I take that chance? So if we bring that back to kids today, it's like, okay, if you use these active creams, are you aware the following can happen? It will irritate your skin. And this perfect skin that we're talking about, it will be no more. So do you you could preserve what you've got now, but at the same time, you could end up with flakiness, you could end up with redness, you could end up with sensitivity, eczema, you could trigger dermatitis. Guess what? Once you trigger those, they're not going to go away anytime soon. A lot of the clinics are saying
Perioral dermatitis. I see a lot of
exactly. There's a
with
lot
that.
of
They come into the clinic and they've tried to, do their skincare routine.
Yeah, I've got a number of partners that say, look, as much as this is really bad, what's going on, it's really good for me because it's bringing me a whole lot of new business. But I think if the kids knew that there was a chance of really distorting or destroying this perfect skin, maybe they would sort of go, okay, I don't want to take that chance. We have a girl here that has got a niece that she's 15, and she says to me, look, are you able to help Isabella with her skin? Absolutely. So I put Isabella on a course, and then Isabella's doing really well with this course of products. And then this happened like kind of Monday. She said to me, oh, look at Isabella's skin. It looks beautiful. On Wednesday, I get the same photo of Isabella, and it's like, look at Isabella's skin. She said she hasn't done anything, and look what's happened. And it was red like the wall behind me.
Oh, wow.
And I said, no, that's not possible. Like it's not possible that Monday the skin looked like this and Wednesday the skin looks like this. So you've got to go back to her, and you've just got to keep asking. Anyway, it did take a couple of days until Isabella said, I used Mum's skin roller on myself with a niacinamide underneath it. Good girl, Isabella. Happy with that? Did that work for you?
Did that work for you?
That worked for you? And then the best thing was poor Isabella. So then I helped to correct it, rebalance, calm, soothe, strengthen the skin, all that sort of stuff. And then months later, I went for a chiro appointment in a medical center. And as I walked in, there was Isabella and her mum. And her mum was like, oh my gosh, Maria. And Isabella was like, and I was like, are you guys okay? Okay, yeah, are you guys okay? Like, who's not well? And mum goes, oh, Isabella's here because she saw an antibiotic on TikTok and she wants it for her acneic skin.
Goodness.
And I said, you saw it on TikTok, Isabella? She said, yeah. I said, and you want it for the acneic skin that you actually don't have? She said, oh, I do. I said, you don't have acne. You don't have acne, Isabella, and if you just continue to follow what it is that I told you, you will be fine with your skin. Like you'll have a little bit of an upset maybe once a month, but if you just do what I say, you'll come through it very quickly and it will be gone and your skin will be mainly perfect most of the time. So then I made contact with her mum like a few weeks later. I said, did the doctor give her the antibiotic? And she said, yep, he did. Well, that's disappointing. And then I ran into a mum 3 months later. I said, how's Isabella doing with the antibiotic? She said, oh, it didn't work. She's very upset and she's gone back to using the products. So this is the turmoil that mum goes through as well. Mum's had to finish work early to take Isabella to the doctor because she saw an antibiotic on TikTok, and she's been able to ask the doctor and get the prescription for the antibiotic that didn't work for her.
That's actually really concerning, because you actually know how persistent children are as well. They won't stop, right? So no matter, even if you say to them, this is, really what you should be doing, if they get something in their head, it's incredible to try to get it out of their head.
Yeah.
And there's just, when you said that she saw it on TikTok, that is beyond upsetting. They shouldn't be talking about antibiotics on TikTok.
No, right?
Or prescription drugs at all.
Exactly. But what's more upsetting than all that is that she actually was able to get the prescription. Now, I'm telling you that she would have had a couple of little breakouts, but it was not, did not require an antibiotic. So, there's that whole sort of arguments between parents and their children. There's also a cost involved in all that. So I don't know what it's like in Victoria. I'm actually, from what I'm hearing in Victoria, you guys are paying for everything. I heard about a COVID levy the other day. So
it's
what
pretty
the
shocking.
hell? A COVID levy, a windfall, which is like almost like a inheritance tax. So I'm going to just assume at this point that there is no more bulk billing in
it's rare. Still exists, but rare.
Same here. It's become something that, and that particular medical centre is an $80 consult. So his mum, she's had to take the afternoon off work because she doesn't finish till 6, and this was like at 5 o'clock. She's paid $80 for a consult. She's paid for the antibiotics because Isabella wants this that she saw on TikTok.
It's such a it really is a big issue. And as I'm talking to you, it's seeming, I can tell it's actually bigger than what we even think. I'm wondering how many families these discussions are happening every day. I'm so glad that you're speaking up and you're speaking out. There are a few KOLs there that are also doing it, but there's probably not enough of us resonating this message through. And you're always such a trendsetter. You're always ahead of the curve, aren't you? Like,
I love getting into the root of the problem, and being a mum myself, and Cass will laugh, she's in her 30s now. I remember what she was like when she was 5, and I was like, oh my God. And she didn't have how intelligent she is, Steph. She's such a clever girl, right? But now with the internet and with easy access to information, and the thing that we're not taught, and no one is taught, like, what's the article that you're reading? Who's the author of that article? And so when you say there's a lot of KOLs that are talking about this sort of stuff, yes, they are. Like, I see
not a lot, just a couple that I've seen, not huge, not enough.
Not enough.
No.
But the difference with the ones that we are seeing, you're seeing people like Zoe Foster-Blake, you're seeing people like Mia Freeman, you see people that have got some over-the-counter products that are doing that, but not enough of the professional industries talking about it, because the difference with everybody, this is what I love about our industry, the difference with everybody else and us is that we're skin experts. That our information, what we know, what we do, is based on skin science. So at the end of the day, can we just get out there and really say to mums and dads, and obviously we've got to be careful with this inclusivity, so can we just welcome everybody into our businesses and let them know, maybe do when the school holidays come up, I think, if you're thinking about now, I'm not sure, we're not having kids at school anymore, I'm not really sure when the next school holidays are, but think about working out now some master classes, some skin classes, giving them a really trendy name, and do not talk about tweens and teens, because they don't want to be known as that.
No, they
I don't want to be known as a menopausal woman. I'm not going to put in my bathroom a product that says for menopause. Just, for teenage acne. We just want to be ourselves. We don't want to be categorized as anything. It's just, and teenagers, that's why they're buying products for big people, because they want to be grown up.
They do.
I remember when I was 13, I just wanted to be 21. God, if you only knew when you got to 40 and 50 that you just really wanted to be 21.
Yes, you do. You want to go backwards.
Exactly. When I've got a lot of 30-year-olds here at INSKIN, and I'm like, my God, you guys shut up and stop whinging. These are the best years of your life. If only you knew. But the good thing is that, the young of today have got incredible innovation. Like we have in every aspect of our life, whether you're looking at a phone or a car or medicine or, you know, everything, the innovation technology is incredible, but it is in skincare too. You know, I've just come back from Paris from INSKIN Cosmetics, where I spent 3 days where all the new active ingredients were launched, and it's like unbelievable. You know, it's coming so soon. You know, the skins will just get younger. They will be preserved earlier in the piece. There'll be less degradation. There'll be less concern with aging, because we will get better of it, because the understanding of the skin is now being matched with sophistication in active ingredients. And then you've got really great chemists that can put these formulations together. There will be a shift in the way, and there is already, the way that people age. But at the end of the day, it's just so important that we go out there and we share this message. So let's do with the school holidays, just do something that you can bring them in maybe a couple of days a week, charge for it. Like, you know, not a big fee, and it can be redeemable on a purchase of a product, or you put a cost, and in the cost there is like a little starter kit. It can be just a cleanser and SPF. Work with your product houses to help you to bring that to life. And really become the expert in your area for all skin conditions, but specifically for, you know, parents, the support for parents that they need to look after their kids' skin.
Well, we've talked about so many things today. We've talked about all the misconceptions that are out there. We've talked about how to address these, how to talk to your children, how to inform our parents as a whole, to know you've got this. You can actually also influence your children. You don't have to leave it to TikTok and you know, the rest of the social media universe to educate your children as well. And we talked about ingredients. You touched on ingredients very quickly. Are there any other ingredients? Because you did mention a couple of key ingredients in there. Is there anything else that we should be looking out for teen skins?
I think it's more what they shouldn't be using than what they should be using, because what they should be using doesn't include active ingredients in most cases. As I said, clearly, like when there's an imbalance and you need to bring in your niacinamide, and you need to bring in your retinols and different types of peptides, and you know, even your hyaluronic acid, depending on what's happening with the skin. But it really is what they shouldn't be using, and they shouldn't be using. They don't need any level, you know, because obviously with a retinol, you could be as simple as a retinol palmitate, but do they need the retinol palmitate? They don't. Most of them don't. So I really would suggest that, you know, when it comes to, you know, those ingredients that I mentioned, and acids, like, you know, there's a real movement for acids, and you know, your lactic and your not so much the glycolic. I don't see that very much, but there's beautiful complexes with different fruit acids. They're not necessary. You know, even the exfoliants, with the physical exfoliants with the particles, a lot of times they're not necessary either. So it's staying away from those, anything that's active, anything that's going to change the behavior of the skin, then it's just not required until, and this is what I say all the time, until there's a change in the skin. So when the skin changes, then we need to say, okay, here we're going to introduce an active. Which is the active? What percentage is the active? You know, what's the derivative? There's so much to consider, you know, and I think that my partners know me. I'm about to launch my 3rd brand for Expo. So if you're coming to Expo, check it out. Yes. And of course, our 3rd brand is not going to look like the 1st brand or the 2nd brand. It's going to be different again. And is it going to be able to be used on teen skins? Absolutely, it's going to be able to use them. That need it. But there will be botanical actives that will be a beautiful entry point with a supporting entry price to allow mums and dads to really set their kids up with the right ingredients. But again, it doesn't matter what the price is. It doesn't matter whether it's a botanical or a bioactive. That doesn't matter, because if you don't need it, you just don't need it. So staying away from anything, and even treatments, you know, do you need to microneedle 13-year-old skin? No, you don't need to do that. Do you need LED? You don't even need LED. Like when you have perfection, you just need to preserve perfection. And I think parents need to work on confidence and on self-love and ensuring that their kids understand you know, I guess mums can't say it like you're beautiful just the way you are. They go, yeah, you're going to say that, mum, because you're.
Of course you're going to say that, mum.
So it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard because you're saying it like when I talk to my adult kids now, I'm still a mum at the end of the day, you know, and I still try and guide them as much as I can. Sometimes, you know, they know more than me and I can't help that. But you want them to know that you're their biggest fan. You know, I say that to my kids. You have to understand I am your biggest fan. There is no one. I know that, you know, in relationships and stuff, you think that someone's going to love you more than me. They're not. No one's going to love you more than me. So if I say something to you, it really is to help you and to support you and to give you the confidence that maybe sometimes, you know, everybody lacks. So you can't say to someone like, you're enough. You're just beautiful the way that you are, you know. No, mum, it's my mum. You're going to say that. So we've got to find ways that we can ensure that it's not just we don't want to buy you that drunk elephant. It's like you don't need that drunk elephant because you are just perfect the way that you are. But what we are going to do is going to do everything that we can to preserve this natural skin health because that's what you want to go into your adult years with.
Such a meaningful conversation. Thank you so much for always bringing the heart and soul into, you know, the science and the fluff and puff and all these other things that we can get caught up in, you know, like obviously the teens are caught up in the fluff and puff. We're in the science and you just bring the soul to it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I think, Steph, just to finish off that I'm not so much in this subject. I'm not so much driven by what the kids are doing to their skin. I know I should be, and I am. It really matters to me. It's like, please don't do that. Like, please don't do that. But as a mum, I see so much unhappiness in the world. And it's really hard being a mum and having these great relationships with your kids. And so I see I said, like, I've got a twin sister. So, you know, obviously we're the same age, but our kids are totally different ages. And my mum says to me, oh, Maria, they're always fighting. But when I talk to my niece, she knows everything. So I feel sorry for my biggest concern at this point is for the heartache that's happening in a household. So there's hardly a day that there's everyone that's happy because, you know, everyone's getting what they need. So if we can help find peace at home, you know, mum's not going to age as fast and, you know, and the kids are going to have healthier skin because they're going to be well informed. And so I just, to finish, like, you know, let's get together as an industry and make sure that we're doing the best to ensure that the information out there is correct and they've got a better baseline to start off with.
I love that. Powerful message, very important message. And I think we might be doing some more stuff on this now that you've inspired.
Let's
get ABIC community. Let's get the conversations happening. So stay tuned, everyone.
Thanks, Steph, and thank you to ABIC as always. And
and thank you for being such an incredible supporter of our industry. Obviously, everyone knows you're a founding council member and you're also a foundation member through INSKIN and your brands supporting the industry. Without people like you, ABIC wouldn't exist and we wouldn't have that strong voice to government, that strong voice for ourselves to speak up, to really promote, you know, and elevate our profession. So
this is how we can be, you know, what do you say? Be the voice and not the echo.
I think you said that, darling.
I did, yeah, but we've held on to that and it's very powerful. Be the voice and not the echo. Thank you, Steph. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.